Welcome to Dear Dad with Ivan and Brad. He's Ivan. I'm Brad. We got Johnny behind the camera running production for us. And today is episode 2. We are talking about time. And guys, we really appreciate all the great feedback you gave us in the comments last time. We ask you to do that again this time. And we want to thank you for tuning in today.
So before we begin, we have a very good topic today that I think is very important for dads, kids, mothers, for everybody, really. Mm-hmm. Okay. But before that, I wanted to give you guys a little bit more background on us. Brad and I, we've known each other for a few years now. Since what year?
2013.
Okay, perfect. Right. So we used to work together. The reason that I brought us together to do this show is because we have so many differences, right? He just turned 45 years old the other day. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I'm 28. I just turned 28. We do both have 2 kids, but mine are 5 and 7.5, both halves. Mm-hmm. Yours are?
14 and almost 18.
Right. Yeah. We are both also divorced, but he's been remarried. I have not yet. Sucks, but yeah. So there's so many differences, and we've both have had several experiences that I feel that we can share with everybody. That way maybe we can inspire them and, to look at things a different way, or to at least get a male's perspective,
right?
A father's perspective on certain things, like the topic we're going to talk today, which is time. Okay. So I told you, Brad, I was going to go on a little rant today.
Yeah, you did.
Time is very important to me. The time I get to spend with my kids. So I co-parent, right? I get my kids every weekend except the first weekend of every month, right? They told me that when we were setting this up, they told me that it was because the mother needed downtime with them, since the rest of the time that she has them, that they're in school and stuff like that.
Okay.
So she can't go out and do whatever, right? So she needs a weekend. And at first, I was upset about it, because I was like, no, at least let me get every weekend. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And, but in reality, we can all use that little break, right? So for me, that extra weekend, I use it to work extra hours or to do some fun stuff that I might not do when I do have them those weekends. Because when I do have my kids, I don't work, I don't go out, none of that. We've been divorced. I'll say divorced, but separated for 5.5 years now. In those 5.5 years, I can count on one hand, how many times I've said to my mom, "Hey, can you watch them so I can go out?" I don't even think it'll take my whole hand.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. Because I've always made that a priority.
That's awesome.
Right, because if they're with me, quote unquote, what's the point of me working or me going out? Might as well stay with your mom if I'm just not there, right? Mm-hmm. There has been times where I'll work in the mornings. Luckily, I do something where I make my own schedule. I can work whenever I want. Mm-hmm. So, for example, this summer, we had an aunt visiting from Guatemala. So what I would do is, this summer, I had him at my house for 24 days straight. What I ended up, luckily she was visiting during that time. What I ended up doing was asking her to wake up with them and make them breakfast. So I would go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
I'd come back during breakfast sometimes, or maybe a little after. So I'm really not missing much. And it's not like I can't work for a month straight. Are you crazy? You know what I'm saying? Especially having the kids there.
Right.
That's more money than when they're not there, let me tell you, right? So to me, time is very important. I value my time with them 100%. What are some things that you and your kids like to do together, to spend quality time together?
If it's nice outside, you're going to find us at a park for sure. I mean, either we are throwing a football around, we are throwing a frisbee around, we are playing some basketball. at a court. We just started playing
Who's
tennis.
the best player out of the three of you?
Well, I would have to say me. Currently.
Way to be humble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's me.
Yeah.
Humble. I do have a little bit more experience than they do, so that might help.
Okay.
So
We should run a 2-on-2 someday.
Yeah, we should. You and me versus them.
I don't want to dunk on your kids, Brad.
Right?
Damn. I'm just playing. Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, we do a lot of like sports-oriented type of things. If it's raining outside, we might just sit around and watch a movie. We like to wrestle, do goofy stuff like that. So,
Do you still beat them up, or are they at a level where they can kind of take you now?
no, we like to play fight. So we kind of, I like to pin them.
Like you always win though?
Oh, I always win.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not at the age yet where
Yeah.
they're
that's what I
going to
was
be beating me
asking.
up.
No,
Yeah,
not yet.
Not yet.
So they can't beat you at basketball yet. They can't beat you at wrestling yet.
Pretty much nothing.
Is there any? No. Oh, no.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing.
Not dancing either.
Not dancing
You
either.
want to give these guys a little view of that? I'm just playing. Okay. So, what else?
That's it. I mean, really, indoors, movies, games,
yeah.
wrestling, stuff like that. Outdoors, sports.
Okay.
So
Now, do you find it that you have to constantly be doing something with them at home?
Oh, no. Well, I mean, we live in an information age. So with technology, they've got their phones, they've got iPads, they've got their game systems.
Right.
So there might be times where I'm just chilling downstairs. I'm either reading, I'm watching the news, I'm just doing
And
something.
they're doing their thing.
And they're doing their thing.
Right. Okay. Would you say there's more of that than time together?
No, not really.
Which
I'd say,
wouldn't even really be too bad of a thing at their age, because they are older,
yeah.
right? Like,
I want to give them their personal time, their
Yeah,
private time, because
yeah.
they've got friends, they're chatting with, Snapchatting, or just texting with,
Yeah.
doing all that fun stuff. So,
Oh, you're old, man.
oh yeah,
Yeah. I've heard so many stories. So I've been single this whole time. This whole time that I've been separated from the mother of my kids,
Yeah.
I've been single,
okay,
except for 1 year. 1 year of these last 5.5 years. So in my time away from the ex-wife, like, I've ran into a lot of single women and single mothers, and they tend to share a lot of stories with me. A lot of stories about how the fathers of their children just don't want to be in their lives, and that always just, like, it saddens me to hear those stories. I could not imagine that, because for me, I'm the type of person that I need more time with my kids. My kids just started playing soccer again. Like, the season just started last week, and it just so happened that this time around, my daughter has practice on Wednesday. Or I'm sorry, my son on Wednesday and my daughter on Thursday.
okay,
Now, along with the weekends, Wednesdays, I also pick them up after school, and I have them till 7:30. We can do a dinner or whatever, hang out. So I'm already supposed to pick them up Wednesdays, right? So I do. Now I take them to soccer instead of going home. So with Thursday now, I could just not go to the practice, or I could just meet them there and watch the practice. But what I did was I texted the mother of my kids. I said, hey, how about I just pick them up Thursday as well and take them to practice, and you just meet us there, and then they'll go home with you after practice. That way you don't have to drive 45 minutes to come pick them up later anyways. It's already going to be an hour left of my time with them, so we'll swap right there. I don't have to do that, but I choose to, right? There's also been a time where my son has called me crying. When they're at that young age, they freak out. Your kids weren't young when you split up, but when sometimes at that age, they'll freak out. They start crying. Like, sometimes they don't want to leave your house, and sometimes they don't want to leave that house.
right,
Like, it's you can't even take it personal, really, because that's just what they chose to do that day. They don't even know why. Right. But, like, one night late, they called me. His mom called me, and she's like, Elijah's bawling, his eyes out for whatever, like, throwing a huge, not even a fit, just like he was just feeling something, And I was like, I'll come get him. It wasn't my night. It was late. I have to work in the morning. But
And she was cool with that?
Was yeah.
Because she called you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, "Oh, come get him," because he wanted to come to my house. That's just what he wanted to do that night. You know, I could have said, "No, I gotta work and I have to wake up at 3 a.m. I can't, or it's really late. Just calm him down yourself or whatever." I could have done that. Who wouldn't do that? Well, I wouldn't because I didn't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But most people won't do that. And I can tell you that because I've seen it. I've heard it from people every single day, Brad. I will show you my texts right now. Like every single day, there's a different mother that's struggling some way, somehow with finding time for her children and their father. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I totally skipped on the point I was making about soccer, but yeah.
No, I would say, listening to that, you at your age do a better job of that than I did at my age. That's one of the things that I have learned that I didn't do real well at, and that I could have done a lot better with whenever my kids were younger. So like in that same situation, if the mother of my kids would have called me and my 8-year-old son was crying, I would have been like, "Hey, put him on the phone. Let me talk to him for a minute. And let me see if I can just calm him down with my voice."
Right.
And just ask him, "Hey, buddy, what's going on?" And, you know.
See, but my thing is to be a hero.
Right.
Because I want to be that for my son.
Sure.
Like, it felt good that he knew. It felt good to me to know that he knows, like, oh, shit. Or, oh, shoot. My dad's going to come get me no matter what time it is or whatever's going on. He'll just come get me if I need him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But do you and your kids have any things that you guys do that are like traditions in your house? Or not even traditions, but something that's like, these are things that you and your kids have always been doing. You will probably always do them. Like it could be a handshake. It could be a favorite song or games you play all the time. It never fails. Is there anything like that?
Tradition-wise, we always eat dinner together at the table.
At the table?
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's really important. Like my family grew up, and every dinner, barring some weird circumstance, my dad or mom would call us in from outside. We were all eating there. So I've basically taken that into, my own family and done the same thing with it. So dinner time comes, my wife, 2 boys, and I all sit at the dinner table, and we chit-chat and talk, and it's cool because it gives us time to, like, stop. There's no electronic devices at the table. It's not so much a rule as it is just like
common sense.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're all hanging out together. We're not gonna be on the phones. So,
but if you saw somebody pull it out, would you tell them to put it away?
Yeah, okay. I'd be like, hey, you can do that in a few minutes. We're all eating right now. So, yeah, no, definitely. That's probably the main tradition that I have with them.
Like football games on Sundays type of thing
or
anything. I mean, I know it's hard because you switch weekends, right?
Right.
That might be a little hard, but there's nothing else maybe when they were kids that you used to do with them?
No, not really. I mean, I would say tradition-wise, it's mainly like the dinner table type of thing. Yeah. And then just, like I said, if it's sunny out, we're outside. If it's not, we're inside doing something fun, goofy, joking around.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing traditional-wise that way. What about you?
For me, there's a few things that we do that just grew into our things, like my son and I have had one handshake. John, if you pull up my Instagram, we could see it. We've had one handshake that's ours.
Okay.
Since he was like 2 years old.
I saw that. Did you post that today?
I posted it today.
Yeah, I saw that.
I posted it another time before, but I reposted it today on a recent video. I was going through my phone today, and I saw a video and I posted it. And now my daughter and I have one as well. We've had one, I think, probably since she was 2 or 3 as well, because obviously she sees that we have one, so she wants one too.
Right.
And they're completely different, but like that's his and I, his and mine, and that's hers and mine. Is that how you say it, Brad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably pretty close.
Public education, And so that's like one of the things, like, and it's such a little thing, but it's so important to me because it's ours. They know they can't share that with nobody. They know that. They know I wouldn't either. And it really doesn't seem like such a big deal, but to me it is. And these two handshakes, they're handshakes we're going to do till who knows when.
Right.
Handshakes, you shake people's hands all the time. You play a basketball game, you do a handshake. Like, hey, good shot.
Right.
You know, like, this is going to be forever.
Yeah.
I know that, right?
Yeah.
We also do, like I taught him the trucker thing, the horn.
Oh, okay. So every time you go by an 18-wheeler.
Goodness. Brad, they love that.
Yeah.
We started doing it this last summer. We can't see the TV.
Is the TV off?
Let me check. Yeah, it's off. Yeah. So, it's okay. I'll keep it. So, we do that, you know, and dude, that's also on my Instagram. We can see it right now. So this is the video right here, Brad.
Okay. Yeah.
This is outside of their mom's house, and we were like, I was picking him up, and he just wanted to throw the football around. I was running routes for him because he wants to be a quarterback.
Yeah.
And that was after he completed a pass to me. And if you go down, Johnny, that's my son. Go down. Keep going down to like go towards like the California video, towards the California ones. Keep going faster. Summertime. Keep going.
Summertime.
Slow down. Yeah, go down a little bit. Keep going. Johnny, keep going until you see a car. Okay, go up a little bit, Johnny. Right there, that one. Bottom third one to the left. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, guys. This is Johnny's first time ever doing this. It will not happen again, I promise.
Yeah!
So that's my daughter doing the... Like, look at how happy they are, Brad.
That's awesome,
We started doing that here. Like, that was in California. We went on a trip.
That's awesome. Thank you!
That's good, Johnny. You can cut it. So we do little things like that, you know.
Right.
One more thing that we do is we have stairs in our house.
Okay.
So every time we're about to go upstairs for whatever reason, like if it's bedtime or whatever, we're just going upstairs to hang out or anything, we always race up the stairs.
Okay.
And it's like, it's a fight.
Yeah.
Because my kids are crazy. Okay. And, you know, I let them a little bit, but like I'll get on my knees right away and then like I'll crawl up the stairs while they're trying to walk and run.
Okay.
And climb over me and stuff. But like that's a thing we do.
Right.
You know, it's funny because
that's cool.
The stairs are right in front of the main door, the front door of the house. So it's like to start the race, we stand up against the door, right? And it's usually my daughter on one side and my son on one side. And then like I'm like, all right, everybody put your backs against the wall. You gotta, you know, don't cheat. And I look at my daughter Bella. I'm like, don't cheat, Bella. And then she scoots up. And I'm like, Bella, get your back against the wall. She's like, but your tummy's out here. I want to be where your tummy's at because you're in the front. You're cheating. And oh my God, that cracks me up when she says that. It's so funny. Yeah, funny. We do a bunch of little things like that, and that's just how we pass time when we're at home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's cool.
I think it's very important to find things like that. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you wish you could have implemented into their lives earlier, so that you could do more things with them?
I mean, only thing I wish I would have done, we talked a little bit about it last episode, was like just being there to maybe push them into sports more.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't play professional baseball. I don't play professional football or basketball, but you throw me a basketball, I can go play with you. A football, a baseball, softball.
You can't play with me, bro.
I believe that. But anyways, I can do all those things, not because I'm great at them, but because my dad put me in all those sports when I was younger. Mm-hmm. And now today, I can go do a pickup game with anybody and go play. Where my sons, I didn't push them in that direction. I was more like, not so much free spirit, but I was like, hey, what do you want to do in life? And they're like, I want to do this. I'm like, okay, you do that. So I didn't push them towards that. And so where my dad had those moments of being able to throw the ball around with us and teach us how to, you know, dribble or shoot or whatever it might be, I didn't get those moments as much, although I have gotten them more over the last 3 or 4 years. We've gone out and played a lot more basketball together, thrown a lot more football, and it's because in my past, I didn't do that as much, and I realized the importance of, hey, I want my kids to grow up, and if they want to be a guy who can go play a pickup game,
they can
go play.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have pushed them a little bit more, but I feel like they're catching on now, and they're learning. And so, I mean, it's better late than never. And so we're definitely not taking the never route. So we're taking the late route. And
let's go teach them. I'll help you, man. I love basketball.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, we can go play some 2-on-2. I'll
Right.
take one, you take the other one, so we're not being bullies.
Right.
Right.
I like the bully part better.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. That's probably why they don't want to play with you, Brad. You know what the hardest part about being a dad has been for me?
What's that?
So, like I mentioned a little bit ago, I've been single this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So, when we go out, it's just me. I very rarely take my brother with me, and when I do, he's 10 years younger than me. Right now, he's 17. So, like, the past few years that my kids have been growing up, he's also been growing up.
Right.
So, I don't need him, expect him, want him to take any responsibility over my kids. So, if I do take him with me, he doesn't do anything because he doesn't have to, and I don't want him to or expect him to, and it's fine, right? Eventually, he will grow into more of an uncle phase.
But they probably see him as an uncle, though, because of his age difference between them and him.
They do. They do, but they don't. They do, but they don't really spend that much time with him, right? To have really that bond, that relationship with him. But they will eventually. Once they're a little older, he's a little older. He'll grow into that role. I'm sure he better. But so it's always me. So I've had my kids with me since they were 2 years old, my son, and 2 months old. That's how old they were when their mom and I split up. So I'm a 23-year-old waking up at the middle of the night every night to feed my 2-month-old daughter.
Wow, yeah.
What's a huge issue in most joint marriages?
Yeah, I mean, the wife's always expected to get up. And there are,
And is that always a fight, yes or no? Is that always an issue?
Oh, it's a huge issue.
Right.
And we're going to let you guys know, though, that we're not anti-dad. We do believe there's some really good dads out there. But the majority of them, it's like the women are always like, yeah, I'm the one who has to get up. And even if you're nursing, if you're the female who's nursing, the man can at least get up, go get the baby, take it to the mom, let the mom nurse, and then when she's finished, he can take the baby back to the
100%.
crib. I mean, it's little things like that
Yeah.
that you can do. And the fact that a lot of men don't do that, I feel like they should step up and take that challenge and do it because it's, in my eyes, in my view, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah,
to do.
And it should be a team working. And to be honest, I probably wasn't even doing that when I was with the mother of my kids. I probably wasn't doing that. I couldn't even tell you. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember most of that time for whatever reason. Okay, probably some psychological stuff. But I probably wasn't the best dad when I was with their mom. I'll even go ahead and say I wasn't. Just whatever. Okay, but that moment when I'm 23 years old and now I have to take care of a 2-month-old and a 2-year-old at the same time by myself, basically. Like, I've had family help, but my mom wasn't waking up to feed my daughter all night. I was.
Right.
My mom has helped me with other things, many other things in life, but as far as being a dad goes, a parent, I've pretty much have managed to do it on my own.
That's awesome.
And I'm pretty proud to say that, but it has been really hard, man.
Oh, I bet.
So hard. So again, 2 years old and 2 months old. That's how old they were when we split up. So here I am waking up all night, feeding my daughter, changing diapers, and
then getting up whatever time you were required to get to your job.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. So going out with 2 kids, man, is so difficult. Even now that they're right now, as of like this year, 5 and 7 is when it's finally starting to get a little bit easier, a little bit, because they're still both really crazy kids. Like, they're very active.
Yeah.
And
then they're male and female.
And then they're male and female, and they're both really competitive, but especially my daughter. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, they'll race up and down an escalator, dude. Like, what? That thing moves by itself. You guys don't need to do anything. Why are you racing? But that's what they do, man, So, like, do you know how hard it is to take a 2 and 4-year-old or a 3 and 5-year-old or a 4 and 6-year-old to a park by yourself?
Oh, I bet.
It is really hard. And I'm not the parent to just sit there in the car in the parking lot watching your kids from afar while they go play. You know? Dude, that scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I don't know how people can do that. I'm so paranoid. Like, if we go out, I need both your hands.
Yeah.
Right now, my son's at the age where he's like, I'm good, man. I don't need your hand no more. But like, not in a.
But he's still gonna stand close to you, walk with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he is. He better. He knows, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I still need to because it's so scary, dude. Like,
Oh yeah, the world is scary. Yeah.
that's the most difficult thing to me about being a dad. A single dad, at least, is having to. One I could do easy. One's easy, man. Easy. One is so easy.
Yeah.
Because what? Like with two, you need 8 eyes. If one's here, where's the other one at?
Right.
You know, like how is that even possible? I take my kids to the trampoline place all the time. That scares the hell out of me too because that place is huge, and they never want to stay together. But I force them. Like it's gotten to the point where I've had to make them hold hands because like they don't want to stay together. They want to go all over the place, and I get it. They're kids. I get it. But Daddy can't do that. And I'm not going to sit on the couch with the rest of these parents while you're over there in the far end corner of the building in this huge warehouse when you're 4 years old. I'm not going to do that. I refuse. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. You think they want to do that together? No, they don't. They definitely do not want to do that together, but I make them because it is really difficult.
Well, and you find yourself becoming like a negotiator. You're having to say, all right, hey, Johnny, you're talking to one, and you're talking to the other one. And you're like, if you go here with her, she'll go here with you a little bit later. And then they're like, but I want to go here first. You're like, no. Listen. Next time you can go first. I mean, you're always trying to figure out like, how do I say this, and what do we do to get them to listen and go the same way?
100%, man.
Yeah.
It's so difficult.
Yeah.
So difficult. But it's funny. It's funny because I always tell them we're not coming back here because they always mess with me, man. They always.
You guys go in happy and you come out, I just mad.
Oh man, they always get to me, and it's funny because sometimes I'm like, "Hey, we're going to the trampoline place," and then I'm looking in my rearview mirror in the car, and my daughter's in the back, kind of like giggling, talking to Elijah, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And then Bella's like freaking out, doesn't want to tell me, and I'm like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Remember you said you weren't gonna take us here again?"
They remember those things. Like,
Yeah,
you weren't
man.
supposed to remember that.
Oh my goodness, I freaked out on them the other day.
Why
I
is that?
felt really bad too. We went to the movies, and we went to go watch the Spider-Man movie,
Oh, okay.
and we get to the mall, or we're walking around and stuff, waiting for the movie to start, and then we go upstairs, and we're watching the movie, and then my daughter's being really she's just not feeling the movie.
Oh.
So she's just kind of whining and wanting to go and stuff. But my son's really into it. I'm like half asleep. but like I just kind of want to relax. Like the movie for me is a relaxed time where it's like, okay, you guys are good. I'm just going to grip onto your legs. And I'm just going to rest.
Yeah.
If I fall asleep, oh well, I'm gripping on as hard as I can. Nobody's taking you, you know? And but she like, so that kind of got to me. And then they didn't have popcorn. The theater wasn't serving popcorn.
So what? They just had candy and soda.
Nachos. We had nachos.
Oh, nachos. Okay.
We had nachos and we always get an icy there.
Okay.
And so I get a thing of nachos for me, and I get a thing of nachos for them to share. Movie hasn't even started yet, and they dropped the nachos. Right? Yeah. No, I'm so mad. And of course I give them my nachos, but I'm pissed about it.
Yeah.
I'm so mad. I'm like furious at this point because one, they're expensive. Two, I gotta give you my nachos now. You know? And
My oldest son.
I love nachos, Brad. You know?
My oldest son did that with popcorn. Like, we had just bought the popcorn. We all sat down, and we're not even 10% into the popcorn, and it was one of those big ones. And all of a sudden, it's like, boom, just everywhere on the floor. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I was like, well, I guess I'll just go buy some more. But at the moment, I'm like, I just sat down, and my feet were kicked up.
Yeah.
You know, I was all relaxed. And yeah.
So we left the theater. It's not over. We left the theater. And I'm furious at this point because then my daughter's still bugging out. This was before the movie started, the nacho thing.
So
okay?
the food didn't calm her down. She was like,
the food happened before the movie.
Okay.
We were watching previews when they dropped the nachos.
okay.
Right? And so throughout the movie she was just like bugging me, and she was cold. It wasn't even cold, and she was well layered. She just wanted to get out of there. She didn't like the movie. She was bored, whatever. So finally the movie's over. I'm pissed because the whole movie she's bugging me. I'm trying to relax. And then we go downstairs, we get to the food court, and we get some food, right? And they don't like the food. And then they're making a bit of a mess on the table. And I get really upset with my kids when they make a mess because like they're at the age where they kind of got to start getting better at that, you know. And at this point, like I freak out on them, and so that's what happened. You know, yeah. I blew up on them, and I really did feel really bad afterwards because I don't like to do that. I am very impatient, and sometimes I allow myself to let it out.
Gotcha.
And I hate when it happens, but
yeah.
I'm not perfect.
What?
You know, I do like to think I'm a good dad, but
right.
I'm not the best dad, and I know that, you know? So sometimes I let my impatience out with them or to show them, you know?
Right.
So, you know, I was like, I told them everything basically that I told you, like, you know, this is really hard on me, you guys. And I was kind of like, I don't want the whole food court to hear me. So I was like, I grabbed them and I was like, you know, in their ear. But I was kind of going, I was like, this is really hard for me. You guys don't understand that.
Right.
Who's here with us? Nobody's here. Who's ever here with us? Nobody's ever here. It's just me, guys. Like, you guys have to help me relax a little bit because you're dropping this, you're dropping that, you're doing this, you're making a mess here, you want this, you want that, you're fighting here.
Right.
Like, it's a lot on my shoulders. And most of the time, I'm able to carry that weight. But sometimes it gets a little heavy for me.
Right.
You know?
I commend you in that because I have no patience. I got that from my dad. It was passed on to him from his dad. And so I just have none. And so especially when I was younger, I would just be like, boom, snap, done. And it's like the whole world just goes, you know. And now my sons, they're old enough to know they're not going to get spanked. They're not going to get really a big talking to or anything. So when they make me mad, I'm like, guys, knock it off. And they both look at me and they start laughing.
Oh, no.
And it's like they know I can't do nothing. And then I'm just like,
oh, you want to bet?
Right. Well, and the thing is I start laughing because I'm like, man, you guys, like, you guys are just pushing me and you don't even care. And they're laughing about it, but then I end up laughing about it. And then I realize in the end, you just got to kind of chalk it up to, you know, my biggest thing. I heard a guy say, you know, you shouldn't say, you know, worry about it's not about the battles, it's about the war, or, you know, or pick your battles, you know, and you shouldn't look at life like that. But in reality, I just disagree with that guy because there are battles. And the thing is it's not like battle like that.
Well, it shouldn't even get to a
fighting.
war. It shouldn't get to a war.
No, but
it should all be battles, really.
Yeah, and so the thing is you take each thing as it comes, an event, a battle, whatever you want to call it. I call them battles, but to me, I'm thinking like, hey, is this one that I need to win? Is this one that I really need to like lay out all my weapons on and go full out on? No, it's not. It's not the end of the day. It's not the end of the world. And you have to realize that at some point, life's going to keep moving on, and today's going to be over. And how do you really want today to end? And I think that really hit me. I wish I could say, man, I've always thought that way, and that's just how I am. It hit me when I got divorced. And then I realized I only got my sons every other weekend. I only got my sons on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so Mondays, Wednesdays, every other Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I didn't have them. Those weeks where it's vacation time for her, for me, I didn't have them during her weeks. And so when you start seeing life from that point of view, that changed me as a father. It made me realize, hey, Brad, you don't have every day with them.
Yeah. So you got to take advantage of the time.
Exactly, because
capitalize.
I think sometimes, it's kind of like if you lay a small bowl of M&Ms in front of someone, like a really, really small bowl. Like, it might only have like 10 M&Ms. They're going to take their time with those M&Ms. You give them a huge bowl of like 200 M&Ms, they're just like handfuls and not caring. And so sometimes if you have every day with your kids, sometimes we blow off some of them because we always think there's tomorrow. But for me, when I was going through my first marriage and I was getting divorced, I realized, Brad, you don't have a tomorrow every day. There is no tomorrow because you don't have them.
And now they're getting older. They're going to want to, like those weekends are with you. There might be a party that weekend. There's
already been ones where they like, hey, Dad, can we go hang out with a friend on this day for a few hours?
God, that's going to
kill
me.
But I'm at a point now in my life where I can let them go. I'm like, yeah, where do you need to go? I'll take you.
Right.
Because I want to be the dad who takes them places, meets the parents of their friend, and says, hey, how you doing? I'm Brad, and you guys give me a call. If you want my cell phone number so you can text me when it's all finished, or if an emergency comes up, bam, done. Yeah. I know that they're safe. I know who the people are for the most part. And then I come back to pick them up. Or sometimes their parent brings them back to my place. And at the same time, I realize my boys are moving from childhood, and yours are still there. So it's different. But when they start moving into junior high and then high school, you have to consciously have a mindset of this kid is trying to move from being a child to an adult. And so as they're moving into adulthood, they're still going to have childish mentality at times, but they're also going to have adulthood
Johnny's got that
mentality sometimes. And so you have to learn to mesh the two and accept both at the same time. Like, man, I wish they were an adult, but at the same time, I look back at 5 years ago, these pictures I took of them, and they're like little bitty in a store.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man. And so sometimes I'll shoot it over to them. I'll text it to them and send it to them, if they're not with me. And I'm like, hey, dude, remember when you're this small?
Yeah.
And it just reminds me, like, they were small at one time.
What's it like to be able to text your kids? That's so freaking crazy to me, man.
Yeah. Oh, it's cool. We share jokes back and forth. We send
You don't have to. There's no middleman, right? There's no middleman.
No.
You don't got to be like, hey, or can I talk to the kids?
Right.
Which my ex and I do a pretty okay job at that. Mm-hmm. We both work, so I like to think that usually when we don't answer each other's phone calls, it's because we're at work or something like that.
Right.
Or maybe we're doing something that we just can't get to the phone.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, we do okay, But, I mean, I don't want to get my kids' phones yet, but, like, man, that's going to be so nice. So you can just...
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell my kids, you ever in your life leave me on red, see who pays your freaking phone bill, kid. See who pays it next. You ever leave me on scene.
Yeah.
We're fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have your kids ever left you on red?
My oldest. Oh. Sometimes he just like, he won't respond. I'm like, is this kid going to respond? So I'll text his younger brother. And I'm like, hey, is Ethan in the room with you?
Yeah.
And he'll be like, he's downstairs playing a game or something like that. And I'm like, I go tell him to look at his cell phone. I'm trying to get a hold of him. And then,
do you pay for the phones?
She does.
She does? Okay.
Yeah. And so, and then sometimes when he gets in my truck and goes back over to my place, I'm like, Ethan, how am I supposed to know if you're getting my messages if you don't even say thanks, Dad, or got it, or
Brad.
something?
It says delivered on there.
Yeah.
Delivered.
Well, no. Only if they have iPhones.
They don't have iPhones?
The oldest one does. The youngest one doesn't. So the oldest one just got an iPhone. He used to have Android.
Yeah, I won't tell you.
Yeah. And so then sometimes it says, has notifications turned off. Do you still want to alert them? I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm. I hit it and I watch it vibrate on my side. And I'm like, I don't know what it's doing on their side.
I don't know either, Brad. I just got an iPhone. I'm learning the game too, man. I'm learning the game. I hate iPhones. I hate them with a passion.
I love them. I used to love Androids. And I started moving over to iPhones over the last few years with different jobs and stuff. And yeah, I love iPhones now.
Johnny, what time are we at right now total?
42 minutes.
42 minutes. Okay.
Like around 40.
Okay. So I'm very passionate about this topic, man.
Yeah.
Very, very passionate. I think that as dads, we can do a better job at being involved with our children. Even if you're just at home,
Right.
there's so many things. I sit in color with my daughter for an hour.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I do her nails.
That's great.
You know, there's a game we play. The three of us. I'll lay on my bed, and then we'll have like those rubber racket balls.
Oh yeah.
I throw it up against the wall. I'm laying down. I throw it up against the wall, and like they gotta try to intercept the ball by jumping on me and stuff. And like that's just something we do.
Right.
You know, man. I don't know how there's people out there, dads especially, that are okay with not seeing their kids, man.
Because one day it's over. It really is. One day, all those memories from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, those memories are gone. You can never get them back. And the thing is you don't want to miss out on them. So if you've not been paying attention to your kid and they're 7 or 8, start. Because there's a book out there that's called like The 5 Love Languages. And it mostly talks about adults and says, hey, this is how your spouse is. They're either they like quality time.
What's your love language?
Physical, like
Physical
touch.
touch.
Yeah. So
Just the one? You don't care about any other ones?
not so much. No.
Well, do you?
Well, actually, I like it if my partner,
Right. I was gonna ask, receive
Yes.
or give?
yeah, is
What do you like to give?
the chore one, whatever that one's called, the acts
like-
of service.
You
It's
like
called
to
acts of
give that
service.
or receive
Oh,
that?
I do both.
Okay.
So I like it when the acts of service are done in the house
Mm-hmm.
and like chores are done and things are picked up and things are taken to where they need to go. But for me, like with my wife, I like touch. Like we like holding each other, kissing each other and stuff like that. With my youngest son, he likes quality time.
Dude.
Huge quality time. Like,
Brad, can I tell you something real quick? You
Go.
just blew my mind.
go.
You just blew my mind.
What's that?
I've never even thought of that.
Okay.
Like in the dating scene, I'm saying because again I'm single. Yeah. Like in the dating scene, that's a big conversation you always have with somebody you meet new.
Yeah.
What's your love language?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I've never thought about that with stupid watch with the kids.
Yeah.
That's never came to my mind. You just
Okay.
blew my mind.
Yeah.
100%. You just blew my mind.
Okay.
I got to think about that.
Yeah.
But go
Because
ahead.
no, and that was it. Because my youngest is huge on quality time.
Right.
If I spend 15 minutes with him, drawing, working on a puzzle, playing a game, especially when he was younger, he was good for like almost the whole day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my oldest, he's touch. Like he and I, we've been wrestling since he was like 2 years old. And the kid to this day, like he'll come up to me just like boom. He like chest bumps me.
Yeah.
He's like, "You want some of this?" I'm like,
You want me to take care of this for you, Brad? Because I will. I can
he-
and I will.
I know.
Okay.
So
Let me
anyways,
know.
but he and I, we love to wrestle. Like that's just what we do. Wrestle.
Yeah.
My youngest one, he's a big kid and he could wrestle. He doesn't want to wrestle. He wants quality time with us. So like we went and played tennis the other day. He loved it. It was his first time ever playing tennis with me. And he was like, "Dad, this was so cool." Because he got to spend some time with me, hitting the ball back and forth, and that meant a lot to him. My oldest one enjoyed it, but not like my youngest one. My youngest one loves quality time.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's important to make sure I give him the time he needs and respect him in that way, not just check it off my list like, okay, this son likes quality time, check. This son likes physical time, check. So I wrestle with him for 15, or I go do a puzzle with him for 15, and oh, I'm good for the day. Now I'll go do my own thing. That's something I've had to learn. Like, Brad, you gotta invest in these children of yours who are now becoming young men.
Right.
And now, the one who's almost 18, he's becoming a man, moving into adulthood, and gonna be voting and changing the world in his own way. So I would encourage fathers to think about, like, what's the love language of your kids? What is your daughter like? What is your son like? And
You blew my mind, man.
You
blew my mind with that.
well, and it blew my mind the first time I heard about it, because I was in the same boat as you. I always heard it for the person you're going to date, the person you're going to marry. Like, what's their love language and what's yours, and how do you guys communicate? And then once I thought about, somebody said it once about children, and I'm like, I didn't even think about that.
I think both my kids might be the same. Like, they need. Maybe my kids are more needy than yours, because mine need like everything, even acts of service. Like, my son loves for me to scratch his back, and then so does my daughter. Like, I get stuck scratching backs for like 10 minutes.
But that might be
straight.
touch. It might not be acts of service.
No, that's an act of service. Like, hey, give me a massage. That's an act of service. Give me, scratch my back, rub my feet. That's an act of service.
But those are all touch.
No, touch is like, let's cuddle on the couch and watch a movie.
No.
Or, Dad, can you hold my hand?
Not necessarily with your kid, though.
No, yes, with your kid. Yeah.
I know, but I'm saying still touching, like scratching the back, massaging, that's all touch.
Well, you also think wrestling is physical touch.
It is.
Love language.
It is.
You think so?
I know so.
Really?
Yes.
Yo. It's okay. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe you're right and I'm wrong, Brad. You probably are right. I'm wrong. You're the one that brought this to me.
This is March 7th. Let's mark that down. You just said maybe you're right.
Yes, maybe you're right. So I think that, see, there they are.
Yeah.
Offering massages is physical touch.
I was right today, and that's okay. Maybe next time.
You were right.
Maybe next time you'll be
So
right.
acts of service is more like, what? Like,
doing
take
stuff
out the trash for me today?
Yeah, take out the trash.
Like, hey,
mow the
husband, you always
lawn.
take out the trash. Me as the wife, I'll do it today.
Yeah, do some vacuuming around the house. Acts of
Right.
service, like just do things that
They usually do.
right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
dishes or whatever. Yeah.
I guess maybe my kids are all of them except for acts of service then,
Okay.
because they both.
Yeah.
I got some needy kids, but I love them, man.
That's good.
And you know what? I wouldn't trade that for anything.
No.
I want them to need me. I need them to need me. And they don't even know it, but I need them more than they need me. They don't even know that. And that's such a cliche thing to say. That's probably the corniest thing I've ever said in my entire life, but it's so true.
And it's been recorded.
That's fine. I'm glad. Johnny, I hope it's been recorded. We've already had one mishap today. Let's not let it happen again. Johnny, you got a dad joke for us this week or no? So if you missed it last week, we want to do one dad joke at the end of every episode just to lighten the mood a little bit. Sometimes we might. Today wasn't so dark. We laughed a little bit today. But we want to keep it light on the mood. So at the end of the episode, we're going to do one dad joke. These are dad jokes that Johnny has personally written. Brad will read them to me, and I will react for the first time here.
Yes. And all of you at home, feel free to leave us a dad joke. Send us in your dad jokes, and we might use some of those
Where are they
every
gonna
once
send
in a
them?
while. Send them to the comments. Put them in the comment box. And we'll let them go for a while. He'll forget about them, and then I'll read them later on. But if they're not good, we'll use Johnny's. And here's one of Johnny's. What's the only thing worse than dropping your nachos?
I already know this isn't going to be funny.
Nothing. Because it's not your business.
See, last week's was a lot better, Johnny. This one you kind of winged it just because you just heard the story.
It was good.
Do you have another one or no? Is there another one there?
No, there's not.
No? What's going on?
Nothing.
Hey.
He's been up goofy ones. All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in today. We truly appreciate all the feedback you guys give us. And all
we are new at this, guys.
All the
Leave
mishaps.
us alone. We are new, okay? This is
No.
our second episode.
No, leave us comments. Were you guys bored, entertained? Did we do anything that was memorable or thought-provoking? Leave that in the comments. Also, like us. Share us with your friends and family. Also, subscribe to us. And thanks again for tuning in, guys. This was Dear Dad with Ivan and Brad. We'll see you next time.
You know what happened too? It went over the leg. That's what happened. It went over the leg.